If nobody wants to read, I'll go ahead and read. But most of this lesson is like some short videos. And so, again, avoiding financial pitfalls. Our learning goal: students will identify methods to safeguard their finances. Uh, FOMO, I think we've talked about this before. I talked about it a couple times last semester with students in this course. Fear of missing out. You kids probably already know that acronym. Um, and just other things out on social media. I think social media is fine to a certain extent, but you got to be careful too. All right, let's keep going. Live lesson rules: remain respectful always to everyone, and sometimes even the content too. Just remain respectful and stay on task once the lesson begins. So we're going to start off. This couple who creates these videos, they're a couple in real life. I think this is the 2 cents. They also have advanced degrees in economics and so on, which is a social science, which is also similar to personal finance. Anyway, I want everyone to know some things about uh, shopping at supermarkets.
Supermarkets. It's hard to avoid these modern temples of convenience and consumerism. And like the fictitious temples from adventure stories, they are filled with pitfalls and booby traps designed to make you spend more than you planned.
As any good treasure hunter will tell you, you can never let your guard down.
There's nothing to fear here. It scares me.
But with a little preparation and discipline, you can safely swing past every metaphorical snake pit, rolling boulder, and alien spaceship.
Let's pretend that one didn't happen.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this one. I do want you kids to answer some of the others though.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
From the moment you walk through the front door, your senses are getting played. Bright, colorful flowers, the smell of fresh baked bread, soft, comfortable music, all these things are designed to put you in a relaxed, suggestive state of mind so that you'll take your time and be more open-minded about what you came to buy.
If you're like most people, you probably start in the produce section, and that's no accident. Stores have found that when people stock their cart with healthy things early on, they're more likely to reward themselves with junk food later.
It may be tempting to grab some of those pre-chopped fruits and vegetables, but take a second to compare the price by weight. You could be paying 200 to 300% more to not have to wield the knife yourself.
Plus, they often have a shorter shelf life, and you're creating more packaging waste. That's why I chop my own vegetables 5 days a week.
Ouch.
Oh, and by the way,
And that is
that
time
mist
consuming,
that
but-
makes everything seem fresh and crisp, it's pretty much just there for show. Constantly spraying water on produce can increase the health risks of bacteria and make certain fruits and veggies rot faster.
It also makes some produce weigh just a bit more at checkout, so make sure you shake them out before you bag them.
All right. Go and answer this, kids. Which one of the following is a produce money saving tip? I can't see very well. Always pre-cut fruits. Never shake out produce. Don't start in produce section. Which one did they recommend? I don't know if I like this question because I think A is misleading. Uh, kids, even if you didn't get it right, don't worry, nobody can see. And besides, I think, okay, I'm going to share the solution. But see, that was misleading. A was misleading, in my opinion. They want us to cut fruits, but the way it's worded, let's just keep going. Okay, good job, kids.
As you walk the aisles, remember to look up and down, not just side to side. Stores put their most expensive items at eye level, hoping you won't notice the cheaper
Companies even
alternatives
pay
above
them
and
to do
below.
that.
And yes, that applies to kid stuff too.
Excuse me, would you like a free sample?
Sure, I guess. Free samples are more about your emotions than your taste buds. They create a feeling of personal obligation, like you're already in too deep to back out.
Yep.
So, if you're gonna partake, be prepared to make a clean break and move on.
You're just gonna walk away? After everything we've been through?
Supermarkets don't just want you to buy expensive stuff. They want you to buy more stuff in general. Take this so-called bargain. Most people assume they have to purchase all 10 to get some perceived discount. But if you read the fine print, you'll usually find that the unit price is the same, no matter how many you buy.
It's also why shopping carts have been getting bigger over the years. Marketing tests showed that shoppers spent up to 40% more with a double-sized cart. Those
Really?
super-sized carts also make it difficult to do a U-turn in a narrow aisle, so you're more likely to take the long way around. A longer path means more temptations, which is why stores will periodically rearrange the merchandise to keep even experienced shoppers searching.
Some people think that's why essentials like milk and eggs are always at the back of the store, but store managers insist on a more innocent reason. By law, these items can't be unrefrigerated for very long, and since the delivery trucks unload at the back, it makes sense to put the fridges there. I guess making shoppers walk the whole store is just a happy accident.
Once you finally found everything you need, there's one more trial to overcome. The check stand! This is where stores traditionally keep impulse purchases like candy and magazines and gum because they know that by now you're experiencing what psychologists call decision fatigue. We get tired of being sensible and weighing costs and benefits. It weighs us down and it makes us more open to suggestion. So it's best to not even look at that stuff.
Don't look at it. Shut your eyes, Murray, and don't look at it no matter what happens.
These strategies have been refined over decades to make shoppers spend more than they have to and buy more than they need. Unfortunately, people who buy more tend to consume more and waste more. It's kind of a lose-lose-lose situation.
But shopping for groceries and cooking at home is still cheaper and healthier than eating out all the time, which is a major reason why millennials are having trouble saving money. So, by all means, go to the supermarket. Just be prepared.
First off, and most importantly, make a list, even if you have to write it on a napkin in the parking lot. Don't go through those doors without it. The fewer choices you have to make in the store means less fatigue and less temptation.
If your store has them, use smaller carts to discourage overbuying. Although those hand baskets may not be a good idea. Studies found that the physical act of lifting and carrying hand baskets made shoppers feel like they deserved junk food rewards. The brain's a funny thing, isn't it?
Bring
Interesting.
headphones and listen to upbeat music. This will keep you fast and focused. And make sure you don't go grocery shopping hungry. That's just asking your reptile
Yep.
brain to take the
I
driver's
do
seat.
agree with that.
And if you still have trouble sticking to the plan, leave your credit cards at home and bring only what you want to spend in cash. Julia and I have been doing that for years, and it keeps temptation in check.
Remember, these stores aren't evil organizations getting away with highway robbery. In fact, as an industry, supermarkets have one of the lowest profit margins in the US, so they rely on these mind games just to stay in the black.
But you have a right to defend yourself, and the best defense is understanding how your brain works.
And that's our 2 cents.
So I agree with a lot of their suggestions. One thing about making a list, some people say, "Oh, make a list," and that's fine, but they say and absolutely stick to it. I don't think that's always correct. If you didn't write shampoo and conditioner on your grocery list, and then you get to the store and you notice your favorite shampoo and conditioner is way reduced in price, and you know you're going to run out next week, I think you can still buy it. You don't have to absolutely positively stick with um, the list in circumstances like that. Okay, let's keep rolling. Okay, I'm gonna. Here is a statistic. I think it's from 2018. U.S. consumers are more concerned about being victims of identity theft and bank card fraud than potential physical harm related to terrorism or a natural disaster. Does that surprise you, kids? That people, U.S. consumers, just write briefly something in. Let's see, student options. Okay. Does that surprise you? Do you think are or does it do you disagree with it? Do you think do you have more fear of being physically harmed, or do you have more fear of being harmed electronically? In the financial world? And I don't know why it's not letting me see your answers. Is it because I'm in student mode? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Oh, good. One of you answered. Let's take a look. I'm not that surprised. Identity theft is portrayed as it could happen to anyone. Yeah, while terrorism is portrayed as a dramatic event that is unlikely to happen to the average person. This causes different fear level. Yeah, that's a good answer. Whoever wrote that. Excellent. Heart for you. Yay. It doesn't surprise this student because he or she said it seems so common. Yes, I think you're right. I think that is why there's more fear of fraud and identity theft. Okay. Another student said, it doesn't surprise him or her. I think the rationale is that you could heal from being physically injured, but your whole livelihood could disappear from theft. All right. Those are excellent answers, students, and I agree. It, yeah, the identity theft and credit card, um, it just seems more common and more and kind of more harmful. All right, if someone's still writing, please let me know in the chat. Uh, if not, I'm gonna roll forward. So here's a video about identity theft. We're gonna watch a couple of them. And if you can't hear, let me know. But I assume you kids heard the first video fine, or else, yeah, please let me know though. I want you kids to hear it. Oh, this one's loud. And I should be able to do closed caption, but whatever. I couldn't.
Welcome to NPYIS, Jen.
NP what now?
NPYIS. Not protecting your identity. Super good. You're just in time. This is our crime scene.
No, that's
maybe
my
it's-
apartment?
It's a gold mine for identity thieves.
I know I should probably be more concerned about the camera in my apartment right now, but for the sake of learning more about identity theft, what? How?
Look here. Trash can. Enhance. Mail with your full name and address. Old bank statements. An expired credit card. These need to be shredded beyond recognition before they get thrown out, or someone could scoop your identity out of a recycling bin.
Oh man, I didn't realize that.
Not many people do. And look here. Wallets. Enhance.
Whoa.
Do you really need to carry all that stuff with you every day?
Well, no, I just kind of keep it there.
Anything needlessly in your wallet can be needlessly stolen. Carry the bare minimum with you and store the rest in a secure place. Smartphone. Enhance. Phones in the wrong hands are a portal to your personal information. Passcode protect them, or
Yes.
use an app that will wipe the phone if it gets lost or stolen. And don't store PIN codes or passwords in to-do list apps.
But they're so handy.
Well, they're handy for identity thieves, too. So are your social media posts. Don't overshare. Don't broadcast when you're going out of town.
Exactly.
And don't post photos of latte art.
Latte art? Why?
Why?
Because I'm sick of seeing them in my
Oh.
newsfeed.
Oh.
Sir, coffee shop surveillance just came in.
During transactions, keep your card in sight at all times and use your hand to cover your PIN number. And things like banking and online shopping should never be done from a public Wi-Fi network.
Gotcha.
Let's check out your workstation. Computer. Enhance. It looks like you only shop on trusted sites. That's good. Good job. Web browser. Enhance. 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 That's better. When entering personal information online, look for HTTPS and that padlock symbol. It means it's secure.
right.
Email. Enhance. Look out for suspicious-looking emails and links.
lock is
Thieves
good.
will pose as large companies and ask for personal information, hoping you won't notice the difference. Sketchy email addresses and URLs can give them away.
Cool.
Install spam filters and antivirus software to protect yourself from these instances. Emails are not secure, so you should never send personal information by email. And of course, never use the same password for everything.
Sir, results are back from the lab. She uses the same password for everything.
If you can't do it yourself, then you can use a trusted secure password manager app to do it for you.
Well, if I didn't need it before, I definitely need it now.
All right. What's that there? Kitty cat. Enhance.
Hey, my cat is not an identity thief.
I
No
know.
kidding.
I'm just investigating how cute it is. Adorable. Vigilance is also an important part of keeping your identity safe. Familiarize yourself with your billing cycles so that you can tell if a statement doesn't show up or your mail gets tampered with.
Sir, this just came in. Identity theft reported. Phone scam, fake contest for a cruise.
I'm on it.
Computer, enhance. Ah, so cool. Enhance.
This is my cat Smokey, and this over here is Mittens. This is my cat Bella. She's allergic to pineapple.
Okay. So, a lot of that you kids probably already knew. Don't use the same password for everything. I know it's not easy to memorize. They do have, I haven't used them yet, so I can't recommend or discourage those secure password apps. I hope those are legit. I assume they are. Anyway, let's go to the next screen because I do want to find out what you kids thought about that. Oh, another video. Um, oh, we just watched that. Never mind. So, list 5 of the 10 most common mistakes people make about identity theft. Just throw in there the 5 that you caught in that video or 5 that you know. Or you can, it says, okay, wait, just do your best. Um, 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 other things, mistakes. Oh gosh, I'm going blank. If you can only think of 3 or so, that's okay too. But I'm gonna go to teacher mode and see what you kids wrote. It doesn't let me submit. Okay. Yeah, okay, good. This student says shred bills. I should do that more too. I wish I had a shredder again. I used to have one. Keep things not necessarily in your wallet. Yep, we should only keep the things that we really need. Never carry around a social security card. Not protecting info in public. Yeah, using public Wi-Fi, announcing personal information. Yeah, so people, I have friends who got, on Facebook, they would say 10 days until we leave for Hawaii, 9 days until we leave for Hawaii. Next day, 8 days until we leave for Hawaii. So the whole world knew that she and her family would be out of the house. It was just like begging thieves to, to come and rob them. Data breaches. Yeah, watch out for those emails that look shady. ATMs. Yeah, these are good. You kids did. You caught a lot of the. Uh, I almost. It seemed like it was worded wrong. Kind of. I wanted kids to. Maybe I should have worded it. What can we do to avoid identity theft or just theft in general? Useful things. Yeah, good. Okay, let's keep going. Excellent. Nice work, kids. You did really well. If you go on vacation, fine, but write about it once you return home. on social media. They call yeah, do cover pin, shred. Okay, excellent. Yay. You kids. I think can you see all the ones that I see? I think you can. Okay. Nice work, kids. Very good. Okay, now this is still about identity theft. And by the way, I usually can there's usually an option for subtitles. I can't the other two videos I could not find them. And it doesn't look like this has it either. Oh wait, this is not identity theft. This is payday loans. All right, let's play it. Oh,
Meet Jennifer. She's having trouble paying her bills and making rent on time. So, like 12 million Americans a year, she takes out a cash advance on her paycheck and she makes it through another 2 weeks. Problem solved, right?
no.
Not necessarily. Payday loans are different from other kinds of loans because you don't get to pay them back over time. You have to pay them back all at once. You can get them in lots of places, in storefronts, online, even in a few banks. To qualify, Jennifer needs 2 things: income, easy, she's got a job, and a checking account. Jennifer is short $375 on her rent, which is also the average payday loan amount. To get the loan, she just has to agree to pay a one-time fee of $55. 2 weeks later, though, Jennifer's situation isn't any better, and she can't afford the $375 to pay back the loan. But she can afford another $55 to renew the loan. If Jennifer is a typical payday loan customer, she's going to do this again and again for 5 months of the year, paying $520 in fees, all for that original $375 loan to pay her rent. Jennifer's story is a common one. Payday loans are marketed as short-term solutions for emergency use, but the reality is quite different. To learn more about payday loans, who uses them, and why, check out pewtrusts.org/small loans.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. Oh, I think I mixed up these 2 videos. See this? No, this is correct. This is another payday loan one. Oh wait, is this the same one?
This is Jennifer. She had trouble paying her rent and chose to take out a payday loan of $375 to make ends meet. But it ended up costing her more than $500 in fees to do it. To cover her missing rent, Jennifer had a number of options. She could have asked her friends and family for money, but she felt embarrassed. Her credit cards were maxed out, and she didn't want to sell stuff or cut back even further on expenses. So Jennifer decided to take out a short-term loan because it seemed like a responsible choice. She's not the only one. 12 million Americans use payday loans every year. Who are they? They come from all walks of life. After all you need is income and a checking account to qualify. Like Jennifer, most payday loan customers borrow to cover routine living expenses like utilities, car payments, food, and rent, carrying the loan for months. But these loans are advertised as emergency short-term relief. Why the disconnect? Payday loans are also described as a way to avoid overdraft charges. The reality is that over half of loan customers end up overdrafting anyway, and a quarter actually cite the loan as the reason for an overdraft. Jennifer can't afford to repay the loan and keeps renewing it, ending up in debt for 5 months of the year, even though the loan was advertised as lasting only 2 weeks. This is typical, and many borrowers, 41%, have to use a cash infusion like a tax refund or help from family and friends to finally pay their loans back. When all was said and done, she spent more on fees than she received in credit, and she still owed the original $375. Eventually, she had to sell some of her stuff and borrow from her parents, which is what she thought she was avoiding in the first place.
Done that in the first place.
To learn more about payday loans, who uses them, and what borrowers think about them? Check out pewtrusts.org/small loans.
All right, those were kind of similar, but a little bit different. Um, Actually, I don't think I'm going to make you kids answer this. There's another one I want you to answer, though. Uh, okay, some jurisdictions have drafted legislation to reduce the number of payday loans allowed within a year. For example, limiting the number of loans each year to an individual. So, like if somebody comes in um, to the same place a month later after they've already paid off a previous loan, um, by law, the lenders. Oh, well, actually, I want you to answer it before I say the rest. Explain if those laws help borrowers or lenders. Who would help the? Who would it be? Who would have the most advantage? Um, I can't submit it. Um, is so I could read again to you kids. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Some of you did answer. Yes. Whoever wrote this one, excellent. Because they won't have as much loan debt because there wouldn't be as many payday loans. Yeah. Excellent. Anybody else? The borrower will. Yes. Excellent. It would help the borrowers more. And, we don't like government involved in too much stuff, but, once in a while. Okay. Good job, kids. Nice work. Yes. You nailed it. Oh, I put more videos in here than I realized, I think. Oh, this one is about okay, I embedded this one for it's 2 cents again, that one couple that has a lot, they have a lot of good tips for everybody, young people and for everybody. But all right, let's watch this.
Imagine a person who always makes the right
This is
financial
interesting.
decisions. Let's call her Penny. Penny approaches every money problem with perfect logic and reason. She never gets emotional or impulsive and always knows what's in her own best interests. You're probably thinking that Penny sounds imaginary and kind of obnoxious. But for over 100 years, most economists believe that the world was made up entirely of pennies. That you and I and everyone you know always made the best decisions to maximize our happiness.
As crazy as that sounds, that was the conventional wisdom until a small group of economists and psychologists started to question whether penny actually existed at all. One of them, Richard Thaler, won the Nobel Prize last year for showing that not only do humans make financial mistakes, they make predictable mistakes. He joked about calling his research dumb stuff people do. But today, it's called behavioral economics, and it has changed public policy across the world.
Thaler showed that humans can't quite remove their emotions from the decision-making process, but being able to predict these money mistakes might help you avoid them.
There's a lot of psychology behind how people spend money. It's really
Let's
interesting.
say you're helping your mom clean out the garage and you find a pack of Pokemon cards that you must have bought when you were a kid and forgot to open. So you go through them and holy cow, there's a first edition Charizard in mint condition. Even though you could easily get $3,000 on eBay for it, you decide to buy a frame and keep it on a shelf in your apartment.
Okay, let's rewind and consider a different scenario. Instead of helping your mom clean out the garage, you decide to go to the comic book store. And there, in a glass case, you see a first edition Charizard card priced at $3,000. Even though you used to love Pokemon, you would never dream of shelling out that kind of dough for a playing card, and you leave the store.
This may seem like understandable behavior, but it's completely irrational. In the first scenario, you're deciding that a Charizard card is worth giving up $3,000 for. But in the second scenario, you're deciding a Charizard card is not worth giving up $3,000 for.
To a perfectly rational being like Penny, whether or not you already own the card should be irrelevant when judging its value. But clearly, to humans like you and me, it's very relevant.
Thaler called this the endowment effect.
Endowment
Our
effect.
tendency to assign more value to the things we already own than the things we could own. Anytime you refuse to sell something for an amount that's more than you'd pay for it, you are experiencing the endowment effect.
I've done that too, I must confess. So, what is it called when we assign more value to things we already own? Is it A, the endowment effect, B, behavioral economics, C, logical reasoning? Oh, let me see, kids. You have done excellently. Um, all of you are correct. The endowment effect. And I think economics is really fascinating as far as like there's so much there's a lot of psychology behind it. Here, let's keep going.
Ugh, this movie's awful.
I know.
Why don't we watch something else?
Listen to this
can't.
one. I've done
Well,
this.
why not?
I paid $6 to rent this movie. We can't just throw that money away.
Oh, you bring the popcorn.
We have to finish it. That bag cost us 89 cents.
Have you ever watched a movie you hated all the way to the end? Or finished a meal you weren't enjoying just because you paid for it and you wanted to get your money's
I
worth?
have.
If so, you have fallen victim to the sunk cost fallacy.
Remember
it's not
that
like
one. Steve.
sitting
Sunk
through the
cost
emoji movie
fallacy.
will magically refund the rental price. That money is sunk, and it's not coming back. So why put yourself through the extra pain?
Most of us keep an emotional balance sheet in our head, which is less concerned with actual gains and losses than the feeling of gains and losses. Even though watching the movie makes you less happy, at least if you sit through it, you don't have to count that $6 as a loss in your mental checkbook.
Our fear of sunk costs is so great that businesses can use it to squeeze even more money out of us. Many retailers sell memberships that include perks like discounts and free shipping. They know that some people will buy extra stuff they don't really need just to make sure they get their money's worth.
Imagine that you're shopping for some headphones, and you're about to buy some for 15 bucks when you find out that the store down the street is selling the exact same pair for 10 bucks. It's just a 10-minute walk. Would you do it? Now, same scenario, but this time you're shopping for a laptop. The first store has the model you want for $675, the second store $670. Now do you take the walk?
Many people will answer these two questions differently, even though they are essentially the same question. Is it worth $5 to take a 10-minute walk? All other context should be irrelevant. Yet people are more likely to say yes to the first scenario because it feels like you're getting a better deal.
This is called transaction utility, the amount of mental pleasure or pain we get from feeling like we paid less or more than something's really worth. And it's often totally disconnected from the happiness you get from the thing itself.
Stores have been exploiting transaction utility from time immemorial, like the notoriously inflated manufacturer's suggested retail price, which makes it look like every item is always on sale. And some shoppers are so addicted to transaction utility that they'll fill their houses with stuff they don't need and will never use just to chase that bargain high.
Of course, it's always important to shop around and find the best deal. But remember that when considering any purchase, the only thing that matters is what it's worth to you.
That's kind of true. So I've been guilty of some of those. My husband's really guilty of going to yard sales and buying things that we don't need, but just because it was cheap. Okay, when people feel emotional pain or pleasure at losing deals or gaining deals, they are experiencing emotional balance sheet, transaction utility. Uh, oh gosh, it's either A or B, but uh, you know what? I'm not totally sure either, kids. So I'm just going to go ahead and reveal. Don't worry, nobody can see if you got it wrong. It is the correct answer is it's B, transaction utility, transactional. That was the one where should you walk a mile to spend $5 less or something? I do want to talk more about sunk cost fallacy, but we'll keep rolling right now.
If you won $100 on a lottery scratcher, what would you do with the money? Buy an expensive pair of shoes, go out for a fancy dinner? Most people say they're more likely to spend unexpected income on something indulgent or frivolous because, hey, it's not like I worked for that money. It was free.
Thaler called this kind of thinking mental accounting, which means separating money into imaginary categories in your mind. Mental accounting violates the rule that money is fungible, that is totally interchangeable. Once you own a dollar, it's the same as any other and it shouldn't be treated differently just because of where it came from.
For Penny, that pair of shoes is either worth giving up $100 for or it's not. Just because some money unexpectedly showed up doesn't make the shoes worth more.
Mental accounting can be helpful in making monthly budgets and sticking to them, but even then, it can lead us down irrational roads. One study focused on how consumers reacted to a drop in gas prices from $4 to $2 a gallon. This was at the beginning of the 2008 financial crisis, so you'd think that most families would have had a lot of use for that extra 40 bucks a week.
Yeah.
Instead, researchers found that people were surprisingly likely to squander those savings on a higher grade of gas. It's as if in their minds they had budgeted a certain amount to gas, so it had to be spent on gas. They couldn't treat the money as fungible.
Mental accounting exists for the same reason a lot of fallacies do, because our brains aren't perfect supercomputers and we use a lot of mental shortcuts and emotional instincts just to get
emotions
by.
do.
But
impact
knowing
how
what
we
those
spend,
shortcuts
definitely.
are will make you less likely to rely on them in the future. You may not ever be as wise as Penny, but being penny wise is pretty good
Ooh,
too.
it.
And that's our 2 cents.
If you
Okay.
want
Actually, I'm gonna keep going.
If you want to hear more examples of dumb stuff people do, check out Richard Thaler's Misbehaving, The Making of Behavioral Economics.
It's a funny and fascinating history of Thaler's research, full of surprising studies that will inspire you
Okay.
to think differently about money.
Well, yeah. This is geared for young people, so it's probably it might be a worthwhile read. And economics is really more interesting than I used to think. When I was your age, kids, I kind of didn't think too highly of economics, but it really is quite fascinating. I want to talk just for a minute before we move on about sunk cost fallacy. That's where you rent or you pay to watch um, a movie, and it turns out you don't like it at all, but you still sit through the whole movie because you paid for it, or or a meal, expensive meal that you bought at a restaurant, or even just uh, at home. It's already paid for, no matter whether you eat it or not. Well, I guess I just think that fallacy is really interesting. I knew somebody who would gamble. Gambling, by the way, is not, I do not recommend that at all. But people go down to Nevada and gamble and stuff, and they'd lose, um, you know, $500 or something. But before they leave, they go and buy an all you can eat buffet for $7. And and there's some people who actually have it in their mind to try to eat $500 worth of food because they just by the way, the all you can eat buffet is right there in the casino where you lost the money. So I thought that, try to eat $500 worth of food if it kills you just because you lost all that money. So it's really not going to make a difference. I think that's pretty interesting. Okay. Um, let me let's move on. I think some of these behavioral um economics, financial things are really interesting. Oh, I do. Let's talk about debt. We talked about identity theft a bit, and we talked about fallacies of how our emotions, we have fixed things in our brains about spending money. Now, here, this chart, kids. Oh, wait. Okay, let me share that. It's kind of interesting too because you have, okay, the silent generation. That would be my parents. They lived through the Depression and World War II, and then baby boomer. I'm actually a baby boomer, not one of the early ones, but I'm in one of the later ones for baby boomers. Generation X, millennials, and I think you kids are considered Generation Z. I think. Does anyone know for sure? And I wish they had it on there. Generation Z. Does that sound right? I'm Gen Z. Yes, yes, you are. You're all okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Um, anyway, so it's kind of interesting here. Well, I'm a baby boomer, so let's look at the kind of darker green. I do have education debt. I still have student loans I'm paying on. Um, for me though, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Not everybody thinks it's okay, but Okay. Anyway, let's go to mortgage debt. Oh, I wish they had you kids on here. It'd be more useful if they had Generation Z. Well, the closest one to you is the dark red. They have education debt also. They have car debt. They have, of course, almost everyone has credit card debt, except it looks like the silent generation doesn't have much. Mortgage debt, yeah, a lot of us have that. Okay, and then total debt. Okay, so here, let me go back to, um, come on, share this tab set. Okay, so now there's a question on if you need to look at the chart again, you can see it there in uh so it's now um, let me see. Do I want you to answer this one? Name the percentage of millennials. Good job for the silent generation. I agree. And my parents were always like that too. They were very, very careful with money. Um, and this is, just in general terms, but I remember that clearly. So name the percentage. Okay. If I open that again, millennial debt, that is the light red. No, that's the dark red. They have, 86%. Okay. Well, I guess I just gave you kids the answer, but okay. Yep, yep, yep. All of you got it right. Yay. Good job, kids. Now there's another question though about um oh wait, is this the right one? Yes. Which two types of debt are most common for millennials? Um if I'm a student, I can see it better. Use the graph. Okay, I can't fill it in though like you guys probably can. Text. Which kind of debt? They have more millennials have more um, oh, now I can't even see the graph though. uh, mortgage and millennials. Oh wait, no, they're dark red. Oh, they don't have. Sorry, I was wrong when I said mortgage. Oops. Um, a lot of them haven't been able to buy a house yet. Dark red, dark red. Education and car. Okay. Is that what you kids wrote too? Education and car. Oh, we're supposed to put, okay, never mind. So this is interesting too, kids. A higher percent of millennials hold debt than any other group except Gen X. Yet the average millennial debt is lower. I can't see behind it now. Okay. Is lower than every group except the silent generation. And whoever wrote that about silent generation, you're right. Good for them that they are so careful with money. Why might this be the case? Oh, I think I know. You kids write what you think. Um, millennials. Uh,
Finish that before you eat this. Pistachio.
okay, shh. Yes. No mortgage. I think that's the answer. Let's see. Um. Oh, I don't think I can see your kids' answers though. Why isn't it not? Uh, well, I don't. I'm having trouble a little bit here near pod kids. I can't see your answers. Um, like I usually can. So if I go to the next page and it doesn't show, uh, No, see, I want to be able to see your answers. Use the. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yay. Okay. Yes. Car and education for millennials. Yes. Good job, kids. That's exactly right. And yes, that's what I think too. On the other question, I think a lot of them have not. The housing industry has really uh house buying a house is really expensive now more than ever. So whoever put that, they were hard to avoid. So yeah, if you have a mortgage is often going to be the most expensive debt that people have. I actually owe I do. I owe a little bit more in my mortgage than I do in student loans, but kind of close. Good job, kids. Yay. Yay. Nice work. I at first put the wrong answers, but all of you who answered, very good. Thank you for doing that. At first, I thought I wouldn't be able to see your answers. And nice. And whoever wrote that, you have good handwriting for because I don't use the marker anymore because my writing looks so bad. Okay, let's go. Now we have another video. I think this one. Well, let's take a look. Oh, we're running out of time. Darn it. Okay. This will probably be our last video before we get to the exit quiz. All right. Why isn't it going?
Relax and enjoy the ride.
Uh-oh. Wait. Just that wrong. Oops. Oh, shoot. I wanted you kids to see this video, too. What on earth is going on? Let me start there and see what happens. Nope. Oh, darn. This was a good one for young people because it explored, some of the things that young people want to spend their money on. But for some crazy reason, it did not. Here, let me go to the middle. Nope. It did not embed correctly. Okay. So we're going to have to go to the next page. Darn it. You know what? I'm going to find that again. And when I send out a webmail to all you students, I'm going to make sure that I'll put a link for the correct video because it was kind of the best one. So here I'd like you kids to answer these questions. I'll go ahead and be quiet so you can read them and answer them yourself. Okay. I think you can change your answer if you want. I think if you didn't get something correct. And that's okay if you didn't. But so let's take a look. The first one, the correct answer is these negative questions kind of confuse people sometimes, but um, do not use um, the same password for all your financial accounts. Now let's see. For question 2, the correct answer is B. If you get a payday loan, you pay a fee when you first receive the loan, and you must repay that fee again and again if you extend the loan. And this one, remember how the millennials had a larger percentage of young people? Um, no, wait. Oh, higher percentage of young people have debt. Okay, that is different. And yet they typically have lower debt amounts. Okay. There is one more video, kids. I wasn't sure if we would have time to play it, but since I couldn't play that other one, this video I played for students during the first semester. And oh, wait, let me see. Am I playing? Do you see the same thing as I do? Um, some of you might have seen this. Hang on. Let me see your chats. Oh, okay. Oh, Owen, thanks for letting me know. Um, I think Owen, did he already leave? Okay. If he did, thanks for letting me know. I'm gonna go and play this, kids. Let's just stop talking about it and play it, Mrs. Lennon. Here we go.
Cheaters, grifters, con artists, flimflammers, hucksters, scammers, mountebanks. There are as many financial frauds as there are names for the people who perpetrate them. But here are 5 of the most popular methods of parting a victim from their money and how you can protect yourself.
In 1920, Charles Ponzi had an amazing investment opportunity for New Englanders, guaranteeing a 50% return in just 45 days on something having to do with mail order coupons. Incredible? Try unbelievable. There actually were no returns. Ponzi was just using new investment dollars to pay back the previous investors. Eventually, the scheme fell apart. Ponzi ended up owing $7 million and spent 14 years in jail.
Ever since then, anytime a money manager uses new investments to pay returns on previous investments, it's known as a Ponzi scheme. The most famous example was perpetrated by Bernie Madoff, who ran a high-level Ponzi scheme for 20 years that bilked investors out of somewhere between 10 and 20 billion.
He went to prison. He died in prison.
Before accepting an investment opportunity, you should look up a broker's background and complaint history on FINRA's brokercheck.org, and you can request written evidence that the investment professional is a sworn fiduciary.
A close cousin to the Ponzi scheme is the pyramid scheme. Say someone offers you a no-fail way to make money just by joining their organization for a $100 fee. Your job is then to find new recruits who each pay you their $100 sign-up fee, 10% of which you give to the person who signed you up. If you manage to sign up 10 people, you just made $900 from your $100 investment. And if each of those 10 people finds 10 people, you get another $900 for doing absolutely nothing, and so on and so on.
Like a Ponzi scheme, there is no actual investment. All returns come from finding new investors, and when those run out, the whole thing collapses, leaving the people at the bottom of the pyramid with nothing.
This may sound a bit like a multi-level marketing company, but in a landmark 1979 ruling, the Federal Trade Commission decided that Amway was not a pyramid scheme because distributors did actually have to sell products to make money. If a business seems to stress recruitment over sales, that may be a red flag. So before getting involved in an MLM, ask your contact for information on the success ratios of new members and how the company makes its profits.
Made infamous in movies like Boiler Room and Wolf of Wall Street, the pump and dump scam is when an organization artificially inflates the value of a stock that they already own a lot of, usually by aggressive cold calling, spam emails, and sometimes even fake news reports. When enough suckers have bought in, the scammer sells all their shares at the inflated price, sending the price tumbling back down and wiping out most people's investments.
Getting rich quick on the stock market is incredibly rare. If someone tells you they have a hot stock tip or they know what the next big thing is going to be, ask yourself why they would share this valuable information with you.
Imagine getting a phone call
and is
from
it
the
even legal
IRS
to do that?
informing
Isn't
you
that
that you owe
insider
additional
trading?
taxes that must be paid immediately, or a warrant will go out
Yeah,
for
be
your
careful of that,
arrest.
kids.
Maybe they even tell you that police are already en route to your house, but it can be all cleared up with a quick wire transfer of $1,000.
Many people are so rattled by a phone call like this and so confused by tax laws that they'd rather go along with it than risk making the IRS angry. But there are certain things the IRS will never do. They will never contact you by phone or email first. You'll always get a letter. They will never demand payment in a specific form, and they will never threaten to have local law enforcement arrest you for not complying. If you get this phone call
Eventually,
and are
people
feeling
can get in trouble,
uncertain,
but
you should just call the
that's at the
IRS
federal level.
directly to check if the request is real.
Hello, Mr. Olson. This is Joyce from your state bank. I'm calling because we suspect an unauthorized transaction on your account.
Oh no!
Before we continue, I just need some information to verify that I'm speaking to the real Philip Olson.
Don't fall for it.
My birthday is. My social security number is.
Don't do it.
And my mother's maiden name is. How's that?
I mean, yeah, that'll do.
Hello? Hello?
Sometimes the easiest way for a scammer to get your personal info is to just call you up and ask for it. They might already know some things about you, like your address or your bank, and just need you to fill in the blanks under the guise of confirming your identity.
No.
The digital version of this is known as phishing, where the scammer sends out emails disguised to look like they're from trusted sources. These emails typically contain a link that brings the victim to an imposter website, where they're asked to enter account details like passwords or credit card numbers.
Whether it's a phone call or an email or a text message, you should never give your information to someone who contacts
Almost
you.
over, kids.
It's always safer to contact the company yourself by calling their official phone number or navigating to their website directly.
Typically, if an individual or organization is on the level, they won't have any problem with you verifying their identity or looking into their track record. They should welcome it.
And of course, we'd all love to get rich overnight, and scammers know it. The best defense is remembering the old adage: if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
And
And
that's
that's
okay,
what she said.
kids. All right. Yeah. Thanks for staying for. Hey, I'd love for you kids to also. I put at identitytheft.gov. If you think you've ever, that's an official, real website by U.S. government to help people with identity theft. If you have time, please type an exit ticket. Something interesting you learned today. Yes, that is interesting, isn't it, Emily? Okay, bye, Emily Rice. Anybody else? Here, I'm gonna stop sharing. How to keep Yes, Yasmin. Okay. Yay. And Yasmin, I'm glad you attended. Even if you're late, I'm glad you're here. Bye-bye. And millennial. Yeah, that is interesting. But it's also kind of mortgage debts are big, but it's sad too that the housing cost of housing is so big. Um, um, is so astronomical that they can't even afford it. And keep just one yeah. Now, yeah, good, Emily Whiting. Yes, you're correct. Very good. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for staying till the end, Emily. Reach out if you ever need anything, and have a terrific rest of your day. All right.